In the bustling 1960s, American racetracks were the stages of roaring engines, screeching tires, and fierce competition. It was a golden age of motorsports where innovation and raw passion fueled dreams of speed. Among the heavyweights of this era, names like Ferrari, Ford, and Shelby, a new contender emerged. But this wasn't the creation of a global giant or a European powerhouse. No, this masterpiece was born in a humble workshop in Anaheim, California. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the Bill Thomas Cheetah, an underdog racing car that dared to challenge icons like the Shelby Cobra. And while its journey was riddled with setbacks, its impact on the automotive world is still felt today. So buckle up, because this story is a wild ride. Meet the man behind the Cheetah, Bill Thomas. Before we talk about the car, let's get to know the man who made it all possible. Bill Thomas wasn't a household name like Carroll Shelby or Enzo Ferrari, but in the automotive world, he was a quiet force to be reckoned with. Born on May 28, 1921, in California, Thomas was destined to tinker with machines. He had a natural knack for mechanics and a deep love for cars. After honing his skills at CSME Motors, he quickly earned a reputation as a wizard with Chevrolet Corvettes. While most people saw Corvettes as sleek, sporty vehicles, Thomas saw potential. By the late 1950s, Thomas had become a go-to guy for Corvette owners who wanted more speed and power. In 1960, he opened Bill Thomas Race Cars, a small operation dedicated to turning ordinary vehicles into racing machines. This wasn't a massive factory with endless resources. It was a modest workshop fueled by ambition and expertise. But as fate would have it, this little shop was about to catch the attention of one of the biggest names in the industry: GM's secret racing mission. Here's where the story gets really interesting. By the early 1960s, General Motors, GM, had publicly declared that they were stepping away from motorsports. No sponsorships, no factory-backed teams, just a clean break from racing. But anyone who's followed the auto industry knows this. Car companies love a good race car, and GM wasn't about to sit back and let competitors like Ford dominate the track. Behind closed doors, GM had a secret mission: to build a car that could go head-to-head with the Shelby Cobra. The Cobra wasn't just a competitor, it was a statement, a challenge to GM's reputation for high-performance engineering. But how could GM fight back without breaking its no-racing stance? The answer was simple: enlist someone outside the corporate umbrella. That's where Bill Thomas came in. His reputation as a Corvette genius had already reached Vince Piggins, the head of GM's Performance Product Group. Piggins saw Thomas as the perfect candidate to create a Cobra killer. He had the skills, the creativity, and, most importantly, his independence. GM could quietly support him with parts and resources while maintaining plausible deniability. For Thomas, this was the opportunity of a lifetime. Collaborating with GM to build a car that could take on the legendary Cobra wasn't just a professional challenge. It was a chance to etch his name into automotive history. The birth of the Cheetah. With GM's discreet backing, Thomas got to work. His vision was clear: to create a car that was lighter, faster, and more aggressive than anything on the track. He brought in Don Edmonds, a talented fabricator and designer, to help bring the vision to life. Now here's where the story takes a creative turn. Edmonds didn't rely on computer simulations or detailed blueprints to design the car. Instead, he went old school, sketching out the layout with chalk directly on the shop floor. This hands-on approach resulted in a car that was compact, unique, and daring. What made the Cheetah special? Let's break down the Cheetah's innovative design. Engine placement. The Cheetah's engine wasn't just at the front. It was pushed so far back that it was practically mid-mounted. This unusual placement gave the car incredible straight-line speed and a unique weight distribution that set it apart from its competitors. Driver's seat. In most race cars, the driver's seat is positioned for maximum comfort and control. But in the Cheetah, the driver sat right next to the roaring V8 engine. Imagine the deafening sound, the heat from the exhaust pipes, and the sheer adrenaline of having all that power inches from your body. Aerodynamics and frame. The car's body was initially crafted from aluminum, but later switched to fiberglass for ease of production. Its sleek, minimalist design wasn't just about looks, it was built for speed. The frame, made from chromoly tubing, was lightweight yet sturdy, further enhancing the car's performance. The result was a car that looked like nothing else on the track, a machine that was as bold as it was beautiful. The Cheetah's first steps. By 1963, the Cheetah was ready to make its debut. The team brought it to the Los Angeles Times Grand Prix, a high-profile event that could put the car on the map. But during practice, disaster struck. Driver Don Horvath lost control, and the car crashed. The team worked tirelessly to replace the damaged aluminum body with a fiberglass shell, but the accident was a tough start for the Cheetah. The following year, the car made its official debut at Riverside International Raceway with Jerry Titus behind the wheel. Unfortunately, luck wasn't on their side. A loose water hose caused the car to overheat and slide off the track. Despite these early setbacks, the Cheetah showed flashes of brilliance. It was fast, blindingly fast, and everyone who saw it knew it had the potential to be a game changer. The challenges of innovation. As groundbreaking as the Cheetah was, it wasn't without its flaws. Let's talk about the challenges that plagued this ambitious project. Overheating. The engine's proximity to the cockpit made the car unbearably hot. Drivers often found themselves drenched in sweat, battling both the heat and the competition. Handling issues. The Cheetah's frame, originally designed for show cars, wasn't rigid enough for high-speed racing. This made the car unpredictable, especially around corners. Ventilation problems. The engine itself struggled with overheating. The team experimented with larger radiators and cut holes in the hood to improve airflow, but the problem persisted. Moments of glory. Despite its challenges, the Cheetah had its moments of triumph. The Cro-Sal Roadster 1 modified Cheetah, known as the Cro-Sal Roadster, had its roof removed to combat cockpit heat. Driven by Ralph Saylor and tuned by mechanic Gene Crow, this version won 11 races between 1964 and 1965. Jerry Enton's Cheetah. Another success story came from Jerry Enton, whose Cheetah racked up several wins and even made a cameo in the Elvis Presley film Spin Out. These victories proved that the Cheetah wasn't just a car with potential, it was a legitimate contender. The dream of the Super Cheetah. In early 1964, Thomas began work on an improved version of the car, dubbed the Super Cheetah. This model was designed with endurance racing in mind, featuring a wider cockpit, better steering, and a more robust frame. But just as the dream was coming to life, GM pulled its support. To make matters worse, new FIA regulations required manufacturers to produce 1,000 units for homologation, a number Thomas simply couldn't reach. The Super Cheetah was shelved, and with it, Thomas's hopes for a racing revolution. The factory fire that sealed its fate. In September 1965, tragedy struck. A fire engulfed the Bill Thomas race cars factory, destroying critical equipment, parts, and several cars in progress. For Thomas, this was the final nail in the coffin. With no resources to rebuild and a rapidly changing industry, he had no choice but to cease production. Counting the Cheetahs. One of the enduring mysteries of the Cheetah is how many were actually built. Most experts agree on these numbers. Completed cars, between 19 and 23. Bodies produced, 33. Each remaining Cheetah is a rare piece of automotive history, coveted by collectors and enthusiasts alike. The Cheetah's legacy. Though its racing career was short-lived, the Cheetah's impact on the automotive world is undeniable. It's a symbol of ingenuity, passion, and the courage to challenge giants. Even today, the Cheetah inspires awe. Original models fetch astronomical prices at auctions, while replica Cheetahs allow a new generation of enthusiasts to experience the thrill of this legendary car. Lessons from the Cheetah. The story of the Bill Thomas Cheetah isn't just about racing, it's about dreaming big, taking risks, and leaving a legacy. It's a reminder that success isn't always measured in trophies, but in the stories and inspiration we leave behind. So the next time you see one of these rare machines, remember what it represents: the relentless pursuit of excellence and the audacity to defy the odds. The Bill Thomas Cheetah may not have dominated the track, but it conquered hearts. From its bold design to its underdog spirit, it remains one of the most fascinating cars in automotive history. And that, my friends, is a legacy worth celebrating.